Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. Something a bit different for today as we go back over the last 62 years of British touring cars and select my favourite from the history of the famous tin top racers. If you would like to suggest any, leave it in the comments. I'd love to have a look and give my views on your selections. And why not subscribe? I am lowering my target to 27 before March 15th, but I still need subscribers. With that said, let's begin our look at the 10 best British Touring Car Championship liveries of all time. Number 10, the 1993 Renault 19. It is amazing what a good livery can do to the mind. For my entire childhood, I dreamed of owning a Renault 19 because of how awesome I thought it looked in racing colours, only to realise later on that the road-going version is an ugly square box on wheels that only the blind can truly appreciate, and they shouldn't be driving. But in the classic yellow of most of Renault's motor racing endeavours, it looked really good. I especially like the random silver stripe on the front flank of the vehicles. The sponsor logos all fit well and it's just a smart overall look. There were other good Renault liveries through the years. I do like the 1996 Laguna, not so much the green 1999 cars, but for the best of the lot, it was their first effort in 1993, driven by Tim Harvey and Alan Menu. Number 9, the 2016 Goodstone Racing Proton Persona. It is a bit of a random pick, but Dan Welch's 2016 effort always remains in my mind. Again, the Proton Persona is not a pretty car, but in the bright and colourful blue and yellow livery, it stood out from the crowd, even if performances did not. Far better than the blue and white Proton Dan Welch raced previously, this is a standout, massively better than the Proton Works team's own efforts in that horrible 1970s bathroom teal colour, and that might be Dan Welch's greatest success. Number 8, the 2005 and 2006 Team Dynamics Honda Integra Type R. I find a lot of Team Dynamics livery entries to be kind of bland, and that's because they have been around a long time and have a set design in mind when making their cars. The orange and black has been used for on and off for a while, and given the modern Honda Civics are not very good looking cars, their 2016 offering genuinely looks like an orange. I don't really like the look of the modern Honda team, but going back they have had some nice cars. The black and silver BMW M3 Matt Neal had his first full year in the British touring cars back in 1992 is a pretty car, as is the early 2000s red Nissan. Definitely a pretty good looking car, but for me the best livery they ever had was as Team Halfords in 2005 and 2006 with the Honda Integra Type R. Again, it's kind of a basic orange look the team used for years, but with a better looking car and the most perfect iteration of the actual livery, it stands out as one of the best ever. Number 7, the 1992 Jan Speed Racing Primera EGT. It was hard to choose between the 1992 and 1993 Jan Speed Nissan entry. The 1993 has the awesome red and green stripes of Castrol, but the 1992 looks a bit smarter overall and the sponsors are laid out very slightly better, so I will go with that one. The black Nissan looks so stealthy, so effortlessly cool, it would be a shame to change it to a boring red colour. Oh wait, they did that. The Nissan liveries that came after this never looked as good as this for me. I like the 1997 offering, but it's just not in the same tier as the Jan Speed early 90s offerings. This is a damn cool looking car and probably made millions of people buy a Nissan. Number 6, the 1975 Stuart Graham Chevrolet Camaro Z28. I mean, a muscle car is always going to be cool. The fact that they were raced in the 1970s in the British touring cars is also cool. This car is amazing. The mixture of British racing green with black details looks absolutely devilish, and the sponsor decals for Brute 33, a cologne for men who can only be described as caddish, and it fits because if you used Brute 33 you'd probably drive a Camaro. The other thing I love about old race cars is the black X on the headlights. It doesn't matter to this as every car had it back then, but I still like it as a detail, It's a shame cars like this don't get raced in the British touring cars today. Not sure how that would work, but this 1970s Camaro is a great looking car. Number 5, the 1998 Esso Ultra Peugeot 406. The paint jobs Peugeots had before this ranged from sensible and uninspiring to downright hideous. The 1996 offering in particular somehow made the car look fatter than it actually was, and considering its performance, maybe it was a bit weighty. But for 1997 and 1998 they turned up with this gorgeous green and gold colour scheme. The two colours complemented each other so well, and the sleek green flames melting into the gold is a genius way to link the two colours. It is a very well thought out paint scheme. I love the aero kit this car had. It actually makes the Peugeot 406 look like a very pretty car, which it is not. Number 4, the 2002 West Surrey Racing MG ZS. Do you know the best way to win me over into liking your car's livery? Get Hot Wheels sponsorship and put flames on the side. It is the most awesome sponsorship in history. Also, the black and bright green is super freaking awesome. The colours are synonymous with MG, and they make any car look great in a childlike wonder kind of way. I know a lot of people would choose the 2003 car over this one, and yes, the two green stripes is a lot neater than the massive green down the middle the 2002 car had, but the Hot Wheels sponsorship is just a simple silver and blue symbol and doesn't stick out as much, and it is just generally less interesting to look at. The 2002 MG is just more childish with its simple large green stripe, Hot Wheels sponsorships, and flames is a winner for me. It's definitely way better than the Atomic Kitten sponsored yellow and black MG, which, like Atomic Kitten, was bland, worthless and forgettable. But it did introduce the BTCC to Colin Turkington, who nearly 20 years later is one of the most successful drivers ever in the series. Number 3, 1994 TWR Volvo 850 GLT. In 1994, Volvo entered the BTCC and shocked the watching press when they rolled out the absolute tank that was the estate car they would be entering in the top saloon car championship. You wouldn't be laughing now with both Honda and Subaru doing likewise in recent years, but in 1994 this seemed like a sick joke. It wasn't, and whilst the first half of the year didn't go well, by the end they were challenging at the top end of the field and looking like they belonged. Sadly, Volvo replaced it the next year with a normal looking saloon car that never quite caught the imagination like the original Volvo BTCC entry did. But it is a good looking car too. The size of it meant plenty of space to give the sponsors a nice spread, and the simple but smart blue and white scheme looked great. This to me is the ultimate toy. It's my favourite race car ever, mostly because I was 4 when I first saw it and I still love it to this day. But regardless of my feelings, this is a great looking car and well deserving of its place in 3rd on this list. Number 2, the 1989 Rouse Sport Ford Sierra RS 500 Cosworth. The Cosworth dominated the touring cars scene in the late 80s and made up most of the grid in the British touring cars during those years. And it was a great looking car with plenty of good looking paint schemes. Some of my favourites include the Graham Good cars with the Listerine sponsorship, the Eggenberger Fords with the menacing black and red, Jerry Marnie's interesting looking red, white and green, and of course, David Pinkney. But the best and most iconic of all was the Rouse Sport cars that usually dominated despite Andy Rouse never winning the championship in one, because of the stupid class system in British touring cars at the time. But in this list it doesn't matter, the Rouse Sport car looks great. The different shades of blue on the white with the Caliber sponsorship is absolutely wonderful, and if you watch touring cars in this era, then I can guarantee you were blown away by the Rouse Sport Sierra. The competition sure was. Number 1, 1993 Team Schnitzer BMW 318i. You can honestly pick any of the Team Schnitzer liveries from any of the many forms of motorsport they have entered, and honestly it was hard to pick from their BTCC lot. I'll go with the 1993 scheme, but honestly every single one is great, with maybe the 1995 scheme being the exception because I don't like the GoldenEye sponsorship stuck on the side. What do I like about it? Well, the white makes it look smart, and the Warsteiner sponsorship logo fits perfectly on the side and makes it look like a legit racing organisation. What completely sells me on it though is the checkered pattern towards the back of the car. The colours fit perfectly and it just looks great, finished off with the red stripe on the sides. Compare it to the 1992 BMW entry, which was just a messy mix of teal and black and random sponsors stuck everywhere. The only car that looks better when Steve Soper smashed the back to pieces. So that is the list. Do you agree with me or am I completely wrong? Maybe you really like the Bob Berridge Ford Sierra that looks like it's had different parts stolen from other Ford Sierras. Whichever car you like the most, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd love to do more stuff like this and I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, leave a like and a comment, maybe do me a solid and share it out. Enjoy your motorsport and have a good one.